Okay. Oh, they're not going to do it full speed. Okay, so that was just 3 sets of carrying. Welcome back to Balanced Basketball Academy, and today we're looking at Bronny James Jr. Right now it's Summer League. A lot of people are thinking that Bronny's going to have a spectacular year too. I'm personally hoping for the best for him because I would like to see him succeed. But I think it's interesting to take a look at what he does in his offseason, how he trains, the kind of things that he does. These are interesting to look at, and as much as his last name does factor into how he is in the league right now, it's also important to realize that he has done a significant amount of work to get where he is anyway. Not just every single son of an NBA player ends up in the NBA, regardless of how nepotism sometimes does work. For those of you who are new, I am Coach Jordan. I was a former college basketball player and now turned trainer. Today we're going to look at the training of Bronny James Jr. Let's get into it.
Yep, 2 in the front. 1, 2. There you go. Good.
Now, I haven't seen a Wilson weighted ball before, similar to the Shai Gilgeous video.
Perfect.
The way this ball sounds, which I apologize if this is only coming out of your left ear. It's only doing that for me. This sounds like a weighted ball that he's dribbling, which is great for dribbling drills. I highly recommend it. I'm not a big fan of gimmicks and tools, but this is one of those that I think is actually very valuable. And it sounds like he's using it right now because the ball has a different tone to it when it hits the ground.
2, 3. Here. Activate. Opposite hand.
Yeah, that's really good. Activating the opposite hand is super key. I've said this time and time again. I'll say it again. When you are using your offhand to be active and to defend a defender, essentially, using that opposite hand to keep the defender's hands from, picking the ball off, that's super important. When you're dribbling, it should not just be one hand that's engaged. It should be both hands should be involved. And that's what he's doing right here. The other thing about this particular one right here is the skip is a really good little baby move that pretty much anybody at any level can learn. As soon as you learn how to dribble between your legs, this move starts to get really helpful. On this skip, you can skip and explode, or skip and crossover, and that's a major move that people use at every level. Well, they'll skip, and then they'll explode, or they'll skip, and then they'll crossover, because there's a little bit of a pause in there where you can read the defense and you can make a play either way. This is great warm-up stuff so far. You're already using very applicable skills within the first minute of the video. Also, doing this with a weighted ball, going backwards from behind, is hard to do. So him messing up is not unusual. It's a difficult thing to do. The other thing, this is really slight. This guy just said this.
Now keep your feet moving forward as you're going.
Yeah, keep your feet moving forward as you're going. That is important because if you are static while you are dribbling, that means you're not utilizing your ability to sell your move to the best of its ability. Your feet are so important. Your hips are important. Your shoulders are important. Your head is important. Dribbling is a full body activity, and being a good dribbler requires full body commitment. There's nothing wrong with dribbling in place if that's all you have for a garage or something like that and you're just working on ball control and stuff. But if you're dribbling in a live game situation, you want to be moving. You want to be trying to sell that you're going in one way or the other and seeing what the defense bites on.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1. There you go. Good. You got the point guard walk.
You can also tell that Bronny is not a very big guy. The trainer that he's with right now is not also a very large basketball player, NBA basketball player. He would be a large person in an airport, but in the NBA, Bronny is, I think he's 6'2". Not a very tall guy for his, aspirations. Bronny is going to have to really embody that point guard energy because he is kind of, unfortunately, cornered into that based on his height and his build, which is something that a lot of players go through as they get older or, deeper into more advanced leagues. As, maybe in high school you could get away with this, but in college you're not a forward anymore, you're a guard, and you got to learn different skills. And so I think Bronny has the capability passing-wise to potentially be a good point guard or a good backup point guard in the NBA, but as of right now, you know, he operates a lot like a shooting guard, and he doesn't quite have the shooting touch or size for it. So it's like, okay, now you got to refocus on what you need to be in order to remain in the league. Because once LeBron's gone, how long Bronny stays after that is really going to be a testament to how much of a fit is Bronny in the NBA actually.
Yeah. Nice, B. Good touch. I see it. Good touch. Yes, sir. Beautiful.
It's a bit of a strange looking drill. I have done stuff like that before. It is mostly just to really make sure you're focusing on getting into your pocket, making sure you're actually using your legs instead of just using all upper body there. I don't know exactly why this drill works, but it does, because I've used it before and it's worked with helping me get my full body into my shot if my legs are deciding to just not work on me. It helps get you warm. Again, it's weird looking, but
Yes, sir.
like, I don't mind it because it's worked in my practice.
1, 2, rhythm. Yep, that handle is important. Yep, there you go. Nice. Good
Yeah,
pickup.
so this is good overall.
Yep, that handle is important.
The
Yep.
issue I have is the ball his gather is a little slow, and it is very pickable for a long time. It's sitting right in that area where like somebody's hand can just swipe it out of his hands really quickly. That is not something they're working on this drill, and yes, he is sidestepping, so it's going to be harder for the defense to get to him. It is still stealable, and I've noticed that on the last couple jumpers he shot, where the ball is real exposed. Look at it right here. Super exposed for a long time, and she's just holding it right there. Some of the best players in the league are really good at not having the ball be in that vulnerable spot for very long. They will pull it to the side, and then they'll come out of that shot if they have to, just to keep the ball from getting stripped. Because as you get better at basketball, better and better defenders are going to be guarding you, and those defenders are going to see that wide open opportunity to steal the ball there, and they're going to pick it. So right now, can you get away with that in Summer League? Maybe. As you get better, you're going to have to get better at that. So for now, yes, it's warm-up time. I understand. But something he needs to consider is that his gather is long and very exposed. But working with different feet there is interesting. I like that as well. You should be able to get into your shot off of either foot, off of multiple different footwork patterns. It's important. That's something that a lot of people neglect, and that's honestly the kind of stuff that makes you a good shooter, is if you can shoot in a variety of different ways and not feel uncomfortable. Yeah, that's the next thing I gotta work on. You gotta get that pocket quicker, man. Look at how exposed this ball is. I'm not gonna get over this, but if you're 6'2", and you have to be a point guard, and you want to work on your change of pace, and you want to work on being not predictable, this has got to get fixed. You can say, oh yeah, Jordan, you're probably not as good a shooter as Bronny. I'm not. I can still see with my eyes. Now, other than that, his shot overall is actually really good. We'll take a look at it here. His knee position is really good. As on the gather, that's pretty solid. His pocket's good. He's actually got a pretty good one-motion shot. It looks like his guide hand's in a good spot. Maybe he's got a bit of a little thumb flick. I can't tell there, but ultimately, it looks really smooth. He does not have a bad form or bad jumper. Yeah, it looks clean. He's missing a couple shots here. Everybody does. That's fine. But yeah, his actual jump shot mechanics are fine. Okay, he's going to need to speed that up ASAP, or else that's just a carry. But we'll see. Boom. Yeah, you got to be quicker on that, or that's just a carry. He's just practicing. He's just practicing. I get it. I'm not being weird about it. Yeah, that's a carry. Okay, now do it full speed, please, Bronny. Do it full speed, please.
Nice. Same thing, last spot. With you.
No. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, they're not going to do it full speed. Okay, so that was just 3 sets of carrying. I understand the, like, look at where his hand is under the ball. I understand that in the NBA there's more leniency with the rules. We talked about this with the Steph Curry video that I just made, where he's doing the misdirection cross and he just kind of carries the ball over into a shot. If you do it quick enough, the NBA refs will just let you do it. But if you have your hand literally textbook directly under the ball, that's just a carry. And maybe, I understand also the premise of the drill. If if you're going full speed and you do a quick pause and you get your hand on like the side of the ball, or maybe, right here, maybe even here, depending on how quick you do it. But here, no, bad. No, you can't do that. I understand going through the drill slowly and wanting to kind of get a feel for it, but once you get a feel for it and you go full speed, you got to stop carrying ASAP. And they don't do that once. So maybe it's not in the video. Maybe it was done at some other point and they cut it. Fine. But what I'm seeing right now, not ideal. This is a weird comment to make, I guess, but he moves pretty well. He glides pretty well as far as taking his time between initial actions and his shot. He's been doing that pretty well the entire time. So he's got a smooth glide to him that will be helpful in the future. Yep. So that move can be really good, really helpful if you want to get the ball back into the pocket and you don't want to put another dribble in there. The only time this becomes a problem is if the defense is too quick. Then you can't do that exposed move where you're pulling the ball in front. That is just a read. You can do it. There's plenty of opportunities when you can do it, and the defense is going to be anticipating a drive. So they'll give you a little bit more space. Then you can pull into that shot. Depends on the read. This can be a really great move. And in the context he's using it right now, I like it.
On the outside, ready? Boom, boom. Yep. Good, nice.
Yep, working on a big man switch. This is nice to have. Got a big body in front of LeBron, or at least bigger than 6'2". I have no idea how tall this guy is, but he looks like he's probably 6'6" or 6'7".
Yep. Good. Yep. Get him up, big.
See, there's the extra step right there. So this is something that NBA players are allowed to do now, is that extra step. And it used to not be the case, but James Harden kind of either made it great or ruined it for everybody. He's gathered the ball here. Then the extra 1, 2, 3. That's allowed. Bit of a travel, and if you're in high school, you're probably going to get called for a travel unless you do that fast. But that's allowed now. Nice pullback cross. That's really difficult for people who are going downhill already to defend you. If you can get a big to completely buy that you're going to go downhill and then you pull back on them, that's where ankle breakers will come from. That kind of stuff. People who are moving really fast, trying to keep up with somebody who's faster than them, and then somebody makes a quick move in the other direction. They can't keep up. They end up on the floor. And hopefully you make the shot. It's a good pull-up. Right here, if the help side decides to go under, gives you that pull-up. It's a type of shot you need to be able to make. And he is shooting it at three-point range because this is the Clippers practice court. So no worries there. It's a nice little facility.
Bronny shoot it well too because he don't jump that high. On his mids, he jumped. Like, if I was fading him here, Bronny can out-jump him here, but that's great because in each level, you should have a different power system, right? But out there, you only jump that high, you're consistent. It's like, so guys that jump really high, they don't shoot it well.
That is interesting. It's actually really interesting. You will find that super hyper-athletic guys will struggle with three-point shooting because they really rely on jumping high. And you don't necessarily need to jump high to get a three-point shot off. Some of the best three-point shooters ever, they'll jump about that high. They'll jump about that high. They're not going that high off the ground. The goal is that they're getting into their shot quick, and their legs give them enough power that they're okay. It is easier to jump 6 inches in the air for 4 quarters than it is to jump 18 inches in the air for 4 quarters. I'm just making up some numbers here, but you know what I'm trying to get at, and I think that the trainer is pushing that forward. I found that when I was learning how to shoot, I was a really solid mid-range shooter for quite some time. but I would put a lot of distance in my shot. I would jump a lot higher than most girls, and it's great, but I was already taller than most girls. I didn't actually need that extra height to stay in the air. And so 3-point shooting wise, I wasn't all that consistent because, yeah, I had good cardio, but trying to jump, 15 inches consistently is harder to do than it is to jump half that. With the mid-range, as you get to higher levels, it is a tougher shot. It is typically more contested. You are going to have to jump a little higher. It is going to be harder to get that shot off, so jumping high is not a problem. It becomes a different shot. That's why not every 3-point shooter is a good mid-range shooter. They can be, but they aren't always. And not every mid-range shooter is a good 3-point shooter. They can be, but not always. There is overlap, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it always applies. If you have decent endurance and you have a decently quick shot and you don't jump super duper high, you're actually in a much better spot to become a good shooter.
You know why we do 2 in a row? Bronny, you know why we do 2 in a row? Because if you miss a shot, the best time to take the next shot is after you miss. You never even leave the gym. Like if I miss a shot here, I'm about to leave. It's like, bro, let me make this next one. It's like a cliche of the culture. So like if I miss a shot and the ball got kicked back out, and I should be shooting the next one because I'm gonna make it every time. So we go watch film and the guy miss a shot, they get a steal, and then he wind up getting a second shot, he makes it. Because it's like being what we do in basketball. It's a basketball culture thing. So I always finish with 2 in a row because we never leave on one make. So if in a game, if you're open and you miss one, take the next shot. You're going to make it.
If you miss your last shot, that does not guarantee that the next shot will be a miss. In fact, if you've practiced and you've trained, statistically, that next shot should go in. Because with every shot you miss, the next shot should go in because you've trained. You're not going to shoot 0 for 10. And maybe even if you do, you'll make another shot in your life again. Like the chances just keep going up and up and up. Maybe that's not really how the math works, but mentally it's a good way to kind of put yourself there and think, okay, the next one I'm going to make. And to kind of have that short memory mindset where you think, okay, well, something happened, but that doesn't impact what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make this next one. Alrighty, with that is the end of this video. I think that we got a lot of perspective on what type of stuff that Bronny is training and how he's going into his year 2 summer league. What do you guys think Bronny's going to look like in year 2? What kind of, JJ Redick has brought up that he wants to give Bronny more minutes. Is that going to stick? Is that going to go away? Do you think that he has some potential for longevity in this league? And, what do you think he's going to have going forward? I personally want him to succeed. I do. But all that to say, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you're this far into the video, like the video, subscribe, maybe. I should have said that in the beginning. That's what I'm supposed to do, but I don't really care how I'm supposed to do things. I just want you guys to enjoy the video. And if you did and you stayed this long, I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.